I can hear you now.
We're going live now.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm on my phone and then I'll go on my computer once it's on.
Good evening. Welcome to a very, very special edition of that Millwall Call in. We will be getting more and more of us joining shortly. What's that noise?
That's my phone vibrating. Sorry, I'm on my phone and just switched to my laptop now.
All right, turn the phone off vibrate. That would be better. So yeah, because all I'm getting is.
I'll hold it for now until my laptop's live.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We'll just wait for people to get on board. So yeah, and then we'll go from there, mate. Let me just start typing. If you're tuning in, welcome. We are breaking with the news that Gary Rowett has parted company with Millwall Football Club. It is breaking news. And obviously we are live now. So if you want to get involved now. The rest of the guys will be joining ASAP. Just got in from work, heard the news. Ain't even my birthday. Yeah, very, very surreal. The news is still coming in. We've got no idea in it at the minute what's happening. But yeah, join in. If you've got any comments, then yeah, we've got guys acting. Turn your phone over, otherwise you look like a dweeb. So yeah, we've got to get some more information. I've got no idea what's what in a minute. Literally, I was on a phone call to someone dealing with something for Chris, and literally, I don't think I've ever been on a phone call where it goes mental. I've got off the phone, turn, and then 32 messages suddenly on my WhatsApp, and then we go from there. So yeah, you're back in down. Why does? Oh, there we go. You need to turn your phone sideways, Alex.
There we go.
That's it. Right, let's get rid of those images. We get rid of that one. We've got more joining us in a minute or two. So yeah, I've got nothing on there. So yeah. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. I will try and get all the links and shared as we go. So, Ben or Dan, do you want to take on for a sec?
I will kick us off. Well, listen, we've all kind of been saying it, I think, now for a few weeks, really, probably since the start of the season, that Gary Rowett might have just ran out of road at Millwall Football Club, and obviously that time has came now. Very shocked it's came 3 days before the end of the international break. I thought if we was going to do it in an international break, I think probably the better timing to do it might have been towards the start. But we've got what we've wished for. It's time to fight, really, if grass is greener on the other side. I certainly think that we've in terms of points, we've made an okay start to the season, and we need to back that up now by kicking on as we kind of normally do at this stage of the season. And we've got a very talented squad. This is the squad we've had on paper for a while, so I think it's about time. We tried to kick on and do what we've been trying to do for the last few seasons and not quite do it. Don't know what your thoughts are on that, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, echo everything really, mate. I'm genuinely shocked. I mean, the timing has amazed me. As you said, it maybe if we were thinking of it, or Gary was thinking about leaving earlier, the start of the international break would have been a much better time to do it. But look, just what I will say on Gary Rowett is he's turned us into a League One yo-yo club, into a knocking on the door of the playoffs, certainly a top half championship side. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. If it has been mutual and the club have agreed and he doesn't feel like he can take us any further, then what respect to him as well. He's obviously seen the frustrations of the fans at the start of this year, but I think massive credit needs to go to him. He's made us a solid, good Championship side now. But I have felt for a little while that we have just needed freshening up. So,
I absolutely agree with everything you said there, Ben. I think we've got to look at him and go, listen. I've just seen Dickheads down the bottom as well. I can't get to him. Hang on. There he is. And I do agree with you, Ben. I think you have to say thank you. What you've done since you've been here has been great. But every good show comes to an end. And I think that the writing's been on the wall for a while. And, you know, you can't accomplish everything you set out to do in life. Sometimes you can get to a limit, and then unfortunately, no matter what you do, you're not going any further. So yeah, I just think that thank you for your service. Been great. You've taken us the longest run we've had in the Championship, and you know, much appreciative for that. But welcome to the line of ex-managers. And we move on, and that's it. Unfortunately, it's harsh, but the only thing realistically I give a fuck about is that badge what sits on the player's chest. The people who are there are just custodians of our beautiful club. They come, they go, and that's it. I'm not fussed. We move on, we look, and we go forward, and that's it. You boys, anything you want to say?
I think...
Remember, Alex, you're not getting paid per word, yeah?
No, I think firstly, I just want to say, Gary, look, terrific person to deal with in terms of the media. Really, really always had time to talk, always would answer any question that you put to him. I think it's the right time. I do agree. I think it is the right time. I'm surprised at the timing of it. I would have thought if it was going to happen during the break, it would have happened before. Or happened before.
I've
now.
heard that as well.
I thought it would have happened before now. Can
you see that message? Gary,
I did see that message.
Gaza London. Rumor is Kevin Muscat incoming.
Please, I'm on my knees.
I've seen that message there. Look, I haven't got any inkling at the moment in terms of what's going on. I don't know. Before you ask me, I don't know. Look, I wasn't aware of the news before it broke. I'm not privy to that information, sadly. But no, look, I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of, look, he's done a fantastic job over the time he was there to get Millwall to where they are, where we are as a team now, a playoff challenging team. I think is a terrific job. I think the writing was on the wall. I, for one, was quite surprised he didn't go at the end of last season.
Yeah, me and both.
And I think it's possible, had not what happened in the summer happened, I think it's possible he may well have gone. I do think that was something that could have happened. But I was surprised he came back at the start of the summer, and I would have been very surprised if he made it through to the end of the campaign.
We're all smart enough, right? Let's read the statement, and it is quite wordy. Let's read the statement and see what we can make out of it. We all know the media game. We all get what's what.
We do.
So, club statement for those of you who are all over the world and maybe just breaking into hearing what's going on at the minute. Millwall Football Club can confirm it is mutually agreed to part company with first team manager Gary Rowett. The 49-year-old has been in charge of the Lions for 4 years after taking over as a boss in October 2019. During that time, Rowett has evaluated Millwall's standing within the Championship and led the club to top half finishes in each campaign, regularly challenging for a place in the playoffs along the way. We greatly appreciate Gary's efforts throughout his time in charge, and he departs with the best wishes of everybody connected with the club. Lions chairman Jane Berylson said, "While my time working directly with Gary has been short, I have thoroughly enjoyed all our interactions and feel that he leaving us enhanced the club's on-pitch status during 4 successful years in charge." Rowett added, "Firstly, I would like to thank the fans for all their support during my time at the club. The atmosphere they create is truly unique." You're not fucking wrong. I have thoroughly enjoyed being manager of Millwall and depart with a feeling that the club has progressed during my tenure. As is sometimes the case in football, the time just feels right to part ways. I'd like to thank John Berylson, James, Steve, Kavanagh, Alex Aldridge, my backroom staff, and everyone behind the scenes for their hard work and support. Finally, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the players, who I thank for the blood, sweat, and tears they have put into their efforts. It has been a successful and enjoyable 4 years. A comprehensive recruitment process is already underway as the club looks to build upon the success Rowett has overseen. Whilst that is ongoing, current assistant manager Adam Barrett will take caretaker charge of the senior squad and be assisted by first team coach Paul Robinson. In Adam and Paul, we have two excellent coaches who I know fans will really get behind during their time in caretaker charge. Berylson added, they have my full support as we take the necessary time to secure the appointment, which is in the best interest of the football club. To me, that sounds as if it is mutual agreement, possibly that the club was caught. The club was possibly caught off guard with it.
I think it screams that personally. There's no logic behind doing this at this stage.
No.
I thought personally, I think he was close to going after the Swansea game. I think the Swansea game was he could have easily have been sacked at that point. It was a poor performance. The fans had clearly turned. The only thing that saved him, I think, then was the fact we had a game at Plymouth 3 days later, and I'd possibly, expecting a difficult game. They rather than make changes then, but I think it's caught him off guard. I caught a little bit of what Ben said. I think he's just robbed what I put on Twitter. Rowett took us from a side at the bottom of the Championship and looking over our shoulders and constantly using the underdog tag to a really competitive side. Just couldn't get us over the line. So no hard feelings. I personally think he's either got something lined up or he's going back to Sky. And I think it's more perhaps from his point of view that it was the right time to go rather than maybe necessarily the club.
I mean, realistically, right, he's 49 years old, right? I mean, okay, I'm 48, but he's 49 years old. Does he want all the grief of being a manager in a Championship where must be an absolute ball ache of a stressful job for the reward what you get when he could probably work for Sky and he must get 10, 20 grand appearance fee for being on Sky, surely.
I think you'll see him on Sky probably for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but don't forget Sky's got the new deal next season. Don't forget Sky's got the new deal next season.
Yeah, look, as 49 years of age, he will fancy another job. I'm pretty sure of that. He will fancy another job. I think he'll get another job quite easily. If you look at his record, it's not a bad record.
One sec. Tony, good morning, fella. Rowett has left the building by mutual consent. So on your way to work this morning, mate, grab yourself an extra special coffee, mate. You deserve it. All your moaning's finally paid off, fella. Sorry, he's in New Zealand, so to him it's Friday morning, isn't it?
Oh, Stephen, go
you're wearing
away.
Shorts. Stand up, Stephen. I'm wearing shorts, by the way, but yeah.
I'm not wearing shorts, but I'm not standing up either.
I'm currently at the pub, but I'm wearing a tracksuit tonight.
Right, well then, lads, I suppose that leads us on to the next question. I want one name answer from all of you. First choice as to who you'd like. Realistic.
Muscat.
Yeah.
Eustace. I want Eustace.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Nathan Jones.
Oh, we've all gone something different.
Okay. Ben?
Chris Wilder.
Wow, we're all going. I'm going to go with Mickey and say Muscat as my number one, but I would say Eustace is a very good number two.
What can I just ask though? With Kevin Muscat, what is it? His record isn't that good. Like, I don't get what the loving is for. I get the former Millwall player, the connection. I understand that, but why? What's so good about him?
He's won the league in Japan and Oz, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He's
he's done all right. I think
he's an unknown manager, right? He's an unknown manager, what nobody knows about, right? While Alex is suddenly taking the screen off, we go there. He's an unknown manager who nobody understands. No one really knows anything about him, but he seems to be doing okay where he's been. He's also very close links to the Tottenham guy, which hopefully means that we'll be able to get some of their fucking youth players over onto our team as well. And what else do you want? You know, realistically, do we want the merry-go-round management? What we've had Rowett, we've had Kenny Jackett, we've had Holloway. You know, do we want the same merry-go-round, or do we want someone who fucking? We don't need none of these press conferences. You know, a few months in and a year in, going, oh yeah, I understand all about the Millwall, you know, the Millwall thing, and I get all this, all that. No, I'd love a player to come in who goes, I fucking know the Millwall way, mate. I know what you want. I know what the fans want, and I'm going to fucking give it to you. And that's it.
But the one league that's relatively at a push of a decent standard, he went out to Belgium and did nothing. Look, I love Muscat as a player. I'm not saying I'd be against it, but I don't see what puts him ahead of the other options out there, personally.
What puts your guy ahead? What's he done?
I mean, he's a young manager at Birmingham. He's had Birmingham in the top 6 in the league that we're playing in.
Granted,
so,
I do agree Eustace did well, and he actually had him playing some pretty decent football. I will agree with that. But
I'd even go as far as to say, after Eustace, I think my next option would be, along with Ben, I'd go Chris Wilde if it's a job that he would be interested in, because he usually wants money. But if you can tempt him,
I think if you did want Chris Wilder, this might be a good time to go for Chris Wilder, because after Middlesbrough and Watford last season, his stock's probably a bit lower than it might have been a few years ago. So, you know, and obviously he did well.
I was just about to say exactly that, Dan.
Bit of an underdog club.
His stock's lower, and he's going to want to prove himself that he can still do it at this level.
I mean, I'm just looking now at the teams that are maybe towards the top of League One, but I mean, Portsmouth and Oxford and Barnsley all recently recruited managers. I don't really think anyone wants Darren Ferguson or Steve Evans. And then you're just kind of looking your way down the league and stuff like that. So
I don't even need to be looking down there, Dan. There's loads available. We've named 4 different ones, right?
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this as well. Dan was putting out in the pod WhatsApp group about Neil Harris. So
I did not say I wanted Neil Harris.
Hey, you posted it.
I just said it'll be a conversation going on at the club.
No, we don't want Harris. No. Get him in as a coach, but we don't.
Well, we got some. Let's get some messages in. Ricky's followed me again. I don't know why he followed the pod. I don't know what we did to him. Gary Rowett is now the bookies' favourite at 4-5 to be the next West Brom manager, with reports suggesting he wants to move closer to home. Rowett has been away from his family as Millwall boss for the last 3 years, and he is said to be interested in a move.
Good luck, Jed Wallace, then.
That would make fucking 100% sense. Well, if he's going there with Jed Wallace, no doubt Jed Wallace is on his way back then.
Have I missed something? Has Coburn been sacked, or is he on the verge of getting sacked?
No, he's still there.
They've got money. They've got money problems, though, haven't they?
He might want that job. There's no chance he's going there.
I mean, I'm just looking now at the list of managers that were on the list last time.
So that's a good call there, though.
Any of these now. I mean, the list, the bookies list last time was Chris Hughton. Other than Gary Rowett, Chris Hughton, Tony Pulis, Mick McCarthy, Adam Barrett, Roy Keane, Kenny Jackett, Nigel Adkins, Phil Parkinson, and Tim Cahill.
I don't think Phil Parkinson's at Wrexham, isn't he?
I
don't think he'll leave that.
No, but that was the old list for the last time we recruited when we got Rowett. That's not a current one.
I was just looking at the names that have been pitched. There is no odds up yet as to who it might be.
No, that'd be tomorrow, wouldn't it? That'd be tomorrow.
Don't know. I mean, obviously, there's one manager we haven't mentioned tonight who's recently came out of work. I mean, it's not for me. I know there might be a few that might want him, but for me, it's not. I wouldn't want Michael Beale.
No, nor do I.
Oh God, no.
No, he had 2 good months at QPR, and then the second it started to go wrong. he ran straight off to Rangers, and then it kind of, you know, he spent a lot of money by Rangers standards in the summer, and they seem to go backwards.
Also, that guy that said Dean Smith on the thing, I do not want Dean Smith as Millwall manager. His football is atrocious. So
that never work. Never
No.
work. That would
No.
never work at Millwall.
No. It just
Hopefully-
feels odd,
hopefully.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But hopefully, you boys, Dan and Alex, are fucking trying to tap up your journo, pals. What I'm doing, I'm fucking trying to find some news into this, because we're getting more and more people joining us now. They're realising we're live. Harris,
I'm trying to find
I
out
can't
as we speak.
I can't see Harris coming back, mate. I can't see Harris.
No,
coming
we
back at
don't
all.
want him.
I don't. Yeah, Chris Wilder
I'm
loves
pretty
back
sure,
five.
I'm pretty confident a Neil Harris return would not be happening.
No.
Judging by what and how it ended last time, I'd be very, very surprised if it was a Neil Harris return. And I think also what is important to say is this won't be an appointment till the end of the season. They will make a long-term appointment. If this was later on in the season, it would have been, you know, they could have turned to Warnock as a short-term appointment. I'd be very surprised if this is a short-term appointment. I think they will make it a vision to a long-term, as they did with Rowett when he came in.
And then taking out our love for Harris as well. Can we just actually analyse that? He's just been sacked by a League Two team. If we went back there, I don't genuinely we can't do that. Surely you've just been sacked by a League Two side.
Also, I think with Harris, I think Neil Harris would only ever return as Millwall manager if it was an hour of need type thing. Say towards the end of the season, sack a manager, you need a couple of results to get yourself out of trouble type thing. That's when Harris might answer the call. He ain't going to answer the call in this scenario. Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
If Lampard becomes our manager, I'm cutting my season ticket up. I'm putting it out there now. Sorry, I'm sure.
Bear with me 1 sec. Right, bear with
he's
me.
one of the worst managers I've ever seen.
I'm trying to get through all these comments, mate. So yeah.
I don't think Lampard in ex-Chelsea and West Ham will go down particularly well either, to be honest.
No,
he'd want too much money. He'd want too much money.
And the fact that his record is absolutely abysmal. So
especially in the last year, it has been appalling. You know, I mean, he won one game at Chelsea, was it, after the return?
Sam Allardyce, anyone?
No.
I would not want to be dealing with Sam Allardyce in the media.
And I wouldn't want to be dealing with Roy Keane.
What about Neil Warnock?
Right, listen, hang on 1 minute. Right, gents, right? No fucker's going to hear you when you're talking over each other. So if someone's talking, shut the fuck up till someone else stops and then carry on and talk in. I know we haven't done a pod with many of us in it for a while, but that's how it's going to work properly. Otherwise, no one's going to get in and we're just going to be making a blur of a noise for no reason. So
the headmaster's spoken.
Fucking right, or else I'll fucking kick you out. It's as simple as that. We're here for the fans to sit there and get their points, and then we put our bollocks on. Other than that, it's not on. So tongue in cheek, Roy Keane has recently said he wants to get into management. Fuck me, that would be a scary appointment, wouldn't it? I don't know. Hopefully he'll join us in a minute. Good evening. Evening, Big E. Morris, I wouldn't want Morrison, would you?
Oh, I would. I'd love him to be Millwall manager. Not right now. Maybe not right now, but I'd love him to be Millwall manager. Dion Dublin.
Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I'd rather Warnock than Thingy. Muscat for me. I'm not really excited that we play a better brand. Oh, I am just really excited that we play a better brand of football.
We hope. We hope.
I reckon Lampard could do a job, especially with the youth coming through. Yeah, maybe. I reckon you might be right, but yeah, no, he's Chelsea, mate. Don't forget we signed up to the Rooney Rule, so expect Sol Campbell to be interviewed. Steve Bruce, Van Bronckhorst.
Steve Bruce's favourite for Gillingham last time.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I don't know who the influential fan was, what was mentioned in the FA document the other day, but whoever it is, put him as manager. That would be the way forward, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? We are getting loads of new people joining us. If you are joining us, make sure to subscribe while you're here, and then you won't miss if we do another emergency show. I don't think I've ever done one like this before, where I've had normally no one wants to come on a show, and literally I had, as I come off a phone call, my phone blew up, and I've got all of these little fuckers going, "Are you setting up? Who's setting up? Who's setting up? Are we going live? Are we doing this? Are we doing that?" So, yeah. And I've still got Omar giving me abuse on text as well. So, yeah.
Well, we saved poor Dan. Dan was just chatting to his wall, wasn't he? Discuss it with.
It's interesting that under his dad, Rowett was safe. Does this a sign of things to come from Berylson? I think there's more to it. The club's gone all woke. I'll be that bird. It'll be that bird who managed. Nugent, Harris.
Can I jump in there?
Nathan Jones. Yeah, go.
Why is Kevin Nugent, who's done incredibly well for under 23s, why has he not been given the chance? Surely, if we're getting rid of Rowett, why aren't we getting rid of all his coaching staff with him? You know, Adam Barrett's been at the club for a while. You know, I just think it's time goes. And you know, Nugent obviously doing really well. I just think it would make sense to give him a chance as our.
I would take Paul Robinson and Nugent.
I have to say, the Paul Robinson that they've got in doing or working with Barrett is not the Paul Robinson that you're.
No. I'm not about Robbo.
Coach Paul
I'm not
Robinson,
about. Yeah, I'm not about.
I just realised that. I thought it was our Paul Robinson and not that Paul Robinson.
No, because they would have called him. I'll tell you what. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Tomorrow will be, and if you want to join us tomorrow, go over onto our Twitter, mate, and just retweet and make sure you're following us on the Twitter post we put out earlier. Which
extend the. Do you want to? Because you put on there, I think it was at 8 o'clock. Do you want to extend it to a bit later?
Yeah, maybe. But if anyone's watching now, they can do it now. So yeah.
That's an interesting. Just one saw there, Ryan Mason, first choice. That's an interesting one.
For the record, I like the blur of a noise. Oh, okay. We can just put white noise out for you then. So yeah, give me a 1 to 23s ago. Harry short term, Kevin Nugent. Do you know what I would probably say? Now, the next comment is what I said this before. I said to him and Muscat before, but Alfie's laughing his brain out there. So yeah, Adrian the kit man could do a job. Yeah, 100%. I think he could do a job. So yeah,
has Lurch got management yet? Because that's probably got to be next on his bingo sheet, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, good old Lurch.
Oh look, my pal from the Argyle show, mate, come on and said, "Pleasure to give you your last win under Rowett."
Cheers. I can say I was there for Rowett's last win. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's it. Reed is a good call, I suppose, but I don't think he'll come here.
Where is he at the minute, Stephen Reed? He's coaching.
Yeah, he's coaching somewhere, isn't he?
I can't think. Is he at Palace or Nottingham Forest?
Forest.
I think it's Forest.
I'm going to flash this one up and flash it off because we gave her some cracking book reviews, didn't we? There we go. There's a question from the Sky Blue from the guys that run the Coventry podcast, who I'm in another group with, who fucking keeps texting as well. But is Eustace realistically a better manager than Rowett? I don't know if he is.
But is it realistically though? How many of the names that we've spoke about? I know there's a couple. But how many would you say are definitely better managers than Gary Rowett? It's a hard,
maybe Nathan Jones.
It's a hard question to answer though, isn't it? Because you can't. There's no factors that say what makes a better manager. Rowett's to come in and clearly done a good job. I just think it's more about the style. I think it's more about the style of football and how we go about trying to trying to get out of this league as in get promoted. That's what they're going to be looking at, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to say it now, but Adam said it about 3 times now. Backroom staff must go.
I 100% agree with that. I was talking to somebody at the whole game, and I said that that definitely the entire coaching staff will need to go. You look at the coaching staff, right? Robinson, Barrett, I can't remember who else was on it, but they're all defenders. All of them have played. They're all played in a defensive role in their playing careers. There's not one attacking coach on that team. And you look at Adam Barrett. Look, he was part of the Neil Harris era. He was part of
Southend,
Gary Rowett era. Yeah,
he was part of Southend with Kavanagh, wasn't he?
Yeah. So look, I think they would try and keep Barrett. I think they will try and keep him, and I wouldn't rule out him being in contention for the job. As we knew last time, he got down to the final three last time with Ainsworth and Rowett. He did get down to the final three. So I wouldn't rule out him being in contention. But I think it'd be unlikely. But he's definitely thought highly of at the club.
I think I'll be with
been for a while.
I think I'll be with Dan, and if Adam Barrett gets the Millwall job, I think I'm just going to give my season ticket back.
Yeah, it's not inspiring, is it?
No,
it wouldn't be an option you think of.
I wouldn't want him to take the job.
But obviously we speak about obviously we're looking at what manager's done. What's Adam Barrett done as like a first team manager? He took charge of 3 games when Harris went. He beat Leeds, granted it was a good result, don't get me wrong. Then we was 2-0 up away at Brentford. And, if he'd have held on to that, there's every chance he might have got the job then. But he didn't. He threw away a 2-goal lead with 7 minutes of time left, and we lost that game 3-2. And then he drew 2-2 with Cardiff in one of the most boring, stale first halves of Millwall I've seen. And I've seen a lot of stale halves involving Millwall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of Northern away days that have ended that way. I mean, I remember back in the Neil Harris days, I think Blackburn away quite a while ago. Actually, in his final season, we thought he might go then. He might quit after that game. I think it was a 2-0 defeat or something like that. But yeah, I've seen some very, very, I'm with you on that, Dan. I've seen some very depressing halves of football with Millwall Football Club in the past. But it's like you look at the comments down there. Cool. That's an interesting one that's just popped up there in Mark Warburton.
It was with West Ham for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He did work on David Moyes' coaching stuff. He left at the end of last season, I think it was, to focus on himself, getting back into management. He did a decent job at QPR, decent job at Brentford. But also went through those sort of ruts, didn't he, with QPR, where they were just awful for long periods.
Can I say a bit controversial to a degree? And my pal in America has just said exactly the same thing as me. I really don't know how I feel about it, if I'm honest, right now. I know we've been saying we want different football and he has to go this, that and the other. But the fear now is who we're getting. Because if you make a rash appointment, then we could be fucked. But has this been discussed between them for a while, and they are now further along in potentially the interview process, and now it's the right time for them to go? Because that statement looks very nice for a statement. Normally, it's about 3 lines and it's done, isn't it?
It's polished. It's a polished message from everyone. It's not, you can't say rehearsed, but it just fits nicely from Berylson and then Rowett himself. The only concern I have, and I know it's really short term, but we've got 3 games in a week. Yeah. The chances of a manager being appointed by Saturday are slim. Let's face it. Yeah. You'd have 2 games. It's just not going to happen. You got.
I add as well. Chances of a huge stylistic change under Adam Barrett in 3 days before the game is probably non-existent.
No, exactly. So then you're then going from Preston to, I think it's Blackburn on the Tuesday. I think it's the Tuesday we play this week. Mm-hmm. So again, between Preston and Blackburn, again, you've only got a couple of days. So the chances are we're not going to have another manager in until at least Watford. That you'd at least hope that's going to happen. In the Championship, 3 games in a week, that can be damaging. It could be damaging. It just seems very odd timing to me. Very odd.
I think they would have been looking at their options before now. I think they would have been looking at the options probably since, I would say, after what happened at Norwich. I think they would have been looking at who's out there and who they could potentially go for. Because I think everyone knew after Norwich it was going to be a matter of time. Because look, you can say what you want, but once you lose the fans at Millwall, you have lost the job. And they would have been looking. I think they probably will already have a list of people that they want to speak to if they've not spoken to them already. I'd be surprised. Look, it will take a couple of weeks. I'd be very surprised if they appoint anyone before Watford.
This was unknown.
Yeah.
This was unknown.
It
was.
I think
this was unknown. I'm hearing from people that certain people only found out 20 minutes, half hour ago when, like before the statement come out.
It seems very similar to what happened with Harris. Harris decided during Luton, he decided during that game that he was going to stand down, right? And I think the announcement was made the next day. The timing of it is very strange. I said to Rich, it was very, very strange for it to be made 3 days before the end of the break. I thought they would have, if the change was going to be made, it would have been made before now. And it does surprise me, maybe because he did say after Hull he was going home for a few days to do absolutely nothing, spend time with his family. Maybe he's discussed it with his family and decided, look, he thinks it's the right thing to step aside. Maybe, or like you say, Mickey, maybe Sky have offered him a bigger pay deal. But you will see him on Sky, undoubtedly. But I'd be very surprised if they have a new manager in place before Watford. I know they would have spoke to people, but they won't.
Go on, Alex, sorry. I was going to say, we're speaking about him going on Sky. Well, who's putting their money on him being the pundit on Saturday?
That's a good call. That's a very good call. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Dan, surely not. Dan,
can you find out if the press release had an embargo on it?
It would have done. It would have been 8
o'clock. But no, I don't want to know if it had done. I want to know if there was an embargo and what the embargo was. Whether or not this statement went out today, and then there is an embargo on it to come out tonight. There's a reason it's come out tonight, and that's what we've got to sit there and understand. If his statement was just thrown to the media last minute, then this wasn't planned.
Also, can I just say, and this is way off topic a minute, I want to know if the blokes in the stream that asked if we'd sold Ben, all it took to get Ben back on the show was for Gary Rowett to be sacked.
There's no direct correlation there, mate. There's no direct correlation.
Dictator Mickey. Fucking
I think regarding your question, Mickey, I think when the situation happened with Harris, it was decided in the morning.
Just give me 1 second, guys. 1 second.
So he had the meeting with the club, and then the club confirmed what. So they obviously knew what was happening. The statement was prepared, and we were told that it would be going out at this time.
Exactly, but you weren't told, were you?
I wasn't told personally, but judging by the time it was released, bang on the hour, judging by the people that also were able to release and have pieces ready, I would definitely say it was embargoed. And I would say that it was known.
But we can find that out.
But we don't know what time it was known. But
we can find that out probably anyway, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll be something we'll be able to find out, I'm sure. But yeah, I think the club would have known this morning, if not but they didn't, or they chose the time to let everybody else know. I would say there was a meeting this morning, and that's how they've come to the conclusion, or a mutual agreement, or whatever. I for one would be surprised if, they say it's mutual agreement. I'd be very surprised if Rowett made the decision to walk. Personally, I think
there's too much in there. There's too much in that statement to point other ways. Really, I mean, it's a very nicely worded statement. Normally, if the club or anyone. I mean, look at Scott. Was it Scott Parker? Basically, just when Scott Parker has left the building, wasn't it?
At Bournemouth. I think that was
Belgium.
Belgium. Yeah, I remember at Bournemouth. He called out the owners, didn't he? After that defeat at Liverpool, and they just straight away said they weren't standing for it, and they sacked him straight away, pretty much.
It's an interesting time. That's I think that's all.
Very
It's
much
just
so.
it's. I don't think as well anything can be really looked at in terms of Saturday's game, because a lot of the planning would have started already, and with Barrett basically taking the reins, how we line up on Saturday, I don't think is going to be much different to how we would have lined up if Gary Rowett was in the dugout. Personally,
Maybe right.
Maybe that might even spill over perhaps till Tuesday as well, and also the fact that we've got so many injuries. A lot of the positions kind of are picking themselves at the minute, especially at the back with Hutch and Leonard and Sarkic all out. So yeah, it's and also one thing we haven't really considered, and I don't know if many people would have thought about it, but someone's going to come in and have a look at this squad as it is, and they're going to have to work with the squad as it is. If you've got a manager that wants to play with width and wingers, he can't. They're not really going to be able to do that unless you're again playing perhaps players out of position. So I think it'd be an interesting spell until January, and whoever we get in is probably going to want assurances that they're going to be able to bring in their own, at least a couple of their own type of players come the January transfer window.
That's why I think Chris Wilder again is quite a natural fit. Plays 5 at the back or the 3 at the back. Obviously, he made that system his own, didn't it, at Sheffield United? He's not going to have to change too much in terms of personnel.
I think Nathan Jones did also play quite a similar style of football.
Yeah.
I think Nathan Jones would be a good bet. I'd be very, I think he'd be a good bet.
I think he'll get it.
Yeah, I reckon he would do. Look, he's an out-of-work manager.
He said he wants to get back in.
Yeah, and he did a very good job at Luton. Again, another club that, you would consider a team, look, I know they're in the Premier League now, but a team you wouldn't consider to have the funds to be able to compete massively. And look, he done a very good job there. He took a step to Southampton. I wouldn't read too much into what happened at Southampton. I think that was just but then again, it happened at Stoke as well, didn't it? But again, that seems to be a cursed job. But it'd be very interesting. You look at Millwall, they bring managers in that need to rebuild their careers. Rowett did it. He rebuilt his career really at Millwall after Stoke. Jones would be another one that needs to do that after Southampton. Realistically,
just one word, yes or no. I'll go round the panel. Ben, yes or no, Nathan Jones, would you be happy?
Yeah, 100%.
Dan?
Yes, just.
Alex?
Yeah, I would be happy, yeah.
Mickey?
Maybe.
I knew he was going to do that. He couldn't give me a yes or a no, could he?
All right, no.
How come, Mick? I've got to ask you that. Sort of why not? Is it the style of football or?
Yeah, I don't like the style. I'm not I wasn't a massive fan of his, so no.
Yeah, the problem I have with Nathan Jones, which is why I kind of was a bit on the fence, is that he seems to be quite arrogant as like a manager. He seems to try and make it quite about himself a lot of the time. I mean, if you read about like when he was at Southampton saying, "Oh, I've given up so much to come here" and stuff like that. Like the way he talks, he just doesn't sound like someone that would resonate very well with our fan base.
Let's face it. If Rowett copped a lot of stick for some of the things, and I don't think I know the clapping at Norwich wasn't ideal, but if Nathan Jones comes out after a defeat and starts saying, a comment like he did at Southampton, I've given a lot, I've done this, I've done that, Millwall fans aren't going to take it. They're not going to have that. No. So I personally, I would be in the no camp for Nathan Jones, but I do think he's going to be a name that's going to be heavily linked with it, and he will probably be one that might make an interview phase and whatnot. So I don't think that name's going to disappear.
It's quite far underway, so you don't know how long this has been going on for.
As I said earlier, look, I think they would have been looking at candidates since Norwich because of what happened, knowing that there's a possibility that this could happen. And look, I think it would only have taken one more bad result at home and it could have got extremely toxic. And if he had reacted, he'd have to have gone. I think everybody knows that. If he had reacted like he did at Norwich at home, it wouldn't have ended well. And look, I think people are right. Look, you've got to say the guy did a good job over 4 years. Look, you look at the league finishes, very good league finishes, competitive to the playoffs. Look to the final. What were we? Half an hour away last season. But I think the overall thing from all of us, and we've all said it, he'd taken the club as far as it could go.
Yeah.
But the question
is
the same going to happen with the next manager? The same thing will happen time and time again. I think the same thing will happen until you can significantly invest. I think the same thing will happen and the same course will be run manager after manager, because there is only a certain amount you can do with a club that can't compete with the higher teams, purely because you look at the Championship, right? You look at Leicester, look at the money they got, look at Leeds. You know, all three teams that have come down have got significant money. Even Ipswich, who have come up, are very heavily financially backed. It all comes down to money, and unfortunately, that's something that Millwall can't compete with at Championship level.
Maybe that adds into the decision why he's gone, because if you look at a lot of the net standings after the summer window, we had like the second highest like net spend. I think most outlets had us spending about kind of 5 million, which by our standards for our football club, that's a lot of money to invest in one summer. So maybe that's kind of contributed to the thinking. Obviously, came so close last year. Want to continue on that kind of same phase where we finished so high and started slowly again.
Just to add to that as well, I was going to say, you've then, Grace, you've got to look at someone who has done it and pushed the team onto that next level. Obviously, Nathan Jones did it, I know, in the lower leagues, but he still got Luton through that. And then like a Wilder again, I know Sheffield United will have a lot more money than we had, but he's still got them there sort of unexpected, I would say, at the time. So
yeah,
you're right. You've got to look at a manager who has done it, I guess. And every club that Rowett's been at, as all the fans have said the same thing: stabilise you, get you to a point, and then you hit your ceiling. And which, in fairness, he's done a great job at that arse. But yeah, you just got to look at a manager that's been there and done it.
Yeah, I think we just tweeted the hashtag Savile is free.
With Rowett though, with Rowett, I actually think, and just thinking about what you guys were saying just then, I think a lot of this started after that Blackburn game, because Rowett's comments after the Blackburn game were about picking the players up and trying to get them ready to go again. He almost achieved the impossible to get Millwall into the top six, and I know last year the league was a weaker league, and for it to fall apart like it did, I think at that point we all said it. We were surprised he'd come back, and I think he was looking for a spark, and unfortunately it went the wrong way with John unfortunately passing away. And I think everything has just got to the point where Rowett's probably looked at it and gone, I was really close last year. The league's got harder this year. I don't have the backing of the chairman that I'd had for 4 years that gave me the job. He may have got a different feel under James, and it just, I think Rowett still perhaps had the I worked under your dad type mentality, and I had a good relationship with John, and I think it just means that we've now got James in charge. Get rid of the backroom staff, get a completely brand new face in, and just wipe what happened last year. Wipe this, maybe even, and I hate to say it, but maybe even this season is a season where we look to get a little bit more stability, a little bit more, off the field right. get a manager in, and then go again perhaps the next season. Because at the moment, let's face it, from John Berylson passing away to now, Millwall on the pitch has been a little bit of a shambles.
Oh, it has. I agree 100%. And I think if you look at the end, like the final 10 games of last season, right, that and then the way last season ended added so much pressure coming into this one. It added the pressure on. And then obviously had what happened with the chairman and everything like that. And as I said before, I do think possibly he would have gone in the summer had that not happened. But you look at next summer in particular, right? I don't think Rowett would have stayed on past the end of the season anyway, right?
No.
So you'd have been looking at a complete new management team, and you look at the age of the squad, the age of some of the players in the squad, massive recruitment would be needed next summer anyway, and will be needed. So not only would they have had to pay out for a new management team, they have to pay out for new players. It will be a very expensive summer next summer anyway, just bringing players in, let alone if they had to do a management team as well. But
why is it every summer we seem like we need to do a rebuild?
Age of the squad.
It seems like every summer.
Yeah, it is.
We don't really sign up and coming players. We sign players that are already in their peak or just going out of their peak, hence why we get them so cheap. Or players that are injury prone, which is again why we end up with them on the cheap, and then our squad's paper thin.
Exactly that. Plus, you've also got the average age of the squad has gone up significantly, especially this summer. I mean, you look at some of them, Hutch in his 30s now, Bradshaw in his 30s, Saville, I think, is coming up 30 as well. Yeah, as it's not a young team, so you've got to either make the call whether you bring the youngsters through. It's very hard to do at championship level, bring youngsters through. We could do it in League One, and Harris did it successfully in League One, but trying to do that in the championship would be very, very difficult because of the nature of the league, the teams you play. And you've also got to remember fan expectation levels have gone up significantly over the last couple of years as well. Especially after last season, the expectation is that Millwall should be challenging the playoff spots. And you look at the table; it leaves us 3 points outside the playoffs. It's not disastrous if you look at it really. A run can do anything in the championship. We know that, but yeah, it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks, and it's again, every appointment is massive.
Alex, whenever you come on a show, or a space, you forget that you're not writing the story, you're speaking it, and you don't need to use every fucking word when one sentence will prevail. You say
I'm dictating it as I write.
You say 6 fucking paragraphs. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I'm dictating it as we speak, so I can write it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised going back to YouTube later. Yeah. What about Chris Hughton?
Was there not rumours of the Rowett appointment of Hughton being interviewed, saw the budget, and sort of went, "Yeah, on your bike"?
Probably.
I don't know.
I think he's got a gig now as the Ghana manager at the minute. So.
Oh well.
They've probably got a bigger budget than us.
I reckon you just know though, don't you? We're gonna be linked with like every name under the sun for the next 2 weeks or
Someone's
whatever.
going to chuck Paul into, and our fan base is going to be fuming when that name comes up.
Yeah, you're going to get you're just going to get a load of names, a load of sort of rumours and things. It's just what will be. As long as they completely change the backroom staff, you cannot just keep. Barrett was there under Harris, he was there under Rowett. If you're going to go for a fresh idea, do the whole lot. It's not just the man at the top. And for the love of God, bring in an attacking coach. Jesus Christ, we've been crying out for it for weeks, and like anybody to help going forward.
Mate, these comments have gone mental. I want to see our next manager to go at teams and fix our fitness levels 100%. Mickey slapping asses again. No, it's content for you boys, and I just want everyone to be involved.
No, not Scott Parker.
yeah.
I've seen his name come up a few times. Not for me.
No.
Scott Parker, he's ex West Ham, isn't he? I don't want Scott Parker.
Yeah, and to be honest, I know he's got a couple of promotions out of this league, but I feel like it would have been more embarrassing for him with the squads he did have the 2 years he got promoted if he didn't get promoted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is the thing with some of these managers as well. Like people saying, "Oh, they've done a good job," and that you also have to look at the squads and the teams they manage. It's not like Scott Parker took, say, Luton, for example. No disrespect to Luton, but he had the biggest budget, didn't he? I think at Bournemouth in the league at that season or whatever. So you do have to take it with a pinch of salt. I think if James Berylson has learned anything from his dad and learned anything from what Millwall means to the fans and what it takes to be successful at Millwall, he will appoint somebody that, as one of the listeners put up, thick-skinned, someone that understands what it means to actually to be Millwall manager, perhaps, and someone that can utilise the fan base, utilise the den. Rowett hasn't done that enough in his tenure, and I think that's what's ultimately cost him at home.
All roads pointing to Wilder there, mate.
I mean, I'll be honest. If it's Chris Wilder, I'd be delighted with that. I would be delighted with that.
I don't see Bergkamp coming here, but I'd have Bergkamp. At least he's a fucking attacking coach.
I wouldn't have an issue with Chris Wilder. I think that would be a quite a solid appointment. He hasn't done anything since Sheffield United, though. I will say that. You look at the jobs he's had since. Didn't do great at Middlesbrough. No one does well at Watford, but
I'll be honest. The
I'm not sure on that one.
I do have about Chris Wilder is that I think he's very good at getting a squad and improving the squad of players that he's got, but I don't think he's very good in the transfer market, and that does kind of concern me because, as we've said, we are going to need a bit of a revamp and someone who isn't strong in the transfer market, and obviously Aldridge's record in the transfer market is still up. I think the jury's still out on that a little bit.
Out of interest, Dan, just on that point.
That comment happens, by the way. Sorry, Stephen. You'll see me on the pitch on Saturday.
Out of interest, Dan, you say about Wilder not being successful or not being great in the transfer market. Out of 10, would you say Gary Rowett was successful in the transfer market?
Oh, gents, we've got 100. Can I just say so? We've got hello everyone watching us live on Twitter. We've got nearly 1,000 people watching us currently on Twitter.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Like our YouTube channel as well if you want. Thanks. Yeah. If you've got a comment you want to get on, you're watching us on Twitter, just reply to the live post, and I can read your comments out. So not a problem at all if you do that. But I'm shocked it's going up and up and up and up.
So Dan,
and also retweet the Fleming is free. See if we can get enough people doing that, we might be able to get that sort of trending as well. That'd be funny as fuck, wouldn't it?
Dan, Rowett, successful in the transfer market overall, yes or no?
I'd probably give him a 7.
Really? Okay.
I think he did. I think on the whole he did okay. Yes, you're always going to get a few stinkers in the transfer market. Even the best clubs sign a few players who turn out to be no good. But I think overall he did okay given budget and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
What would you give him out of 10 then? You sounded a bit shocked when I said 7.
I probably would have dropped a little bit below. Probably would have gone for about 6. I think in terms the reason why I say that is I think in terms of the fact that he knew. I'll go back to last January. He knew last January where the problems lied and what the issues were, and he waited until the week before the transfer window really to try and do anything. It fell through with Nisbet, and we ended up with Duncan Watmore's been okay, but we got Oliver Burt back. I just think Rowett, his transfer dealing, he narrows his pool down to specific. So he was adamant he was playing this 5 at the back and the wing back. So he was never ever going to look for a plan B. He was only ever going to sign based on that. And I think that potentially, I know you can't just sign 20 players and have a massive squad, but when you don't have a plan B and your plan A doesn't work, to me, that's a failing in the transfer market. But it's as I say, it's all opinion. Rowett, Wilder. We're talking as if he's going to. If it is Chris Wilder, again,
but look,
he's going to
Watford
have to
there,
work on a
look.
different budget.
Yeah, but look what Steve Lloyd said there. Watford are a basket case and Borough ain't much better, so can't really judge Wilder and that, I suppose. Yeah. Now, Dean Taylor, I listen. I don't think it's that far out, really. I mean, I think it ain't going to happen, but because I think she's got the Olympics and all that lot sort of thing. But now that would set fucking waves, wouldn't it?
That'd be a great appointment if that happened.
God. Can you imagine?
Someone said earlier we have gone all woke and that, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Can you imagine?
I just want to bring some stats into this tonight. So Rowett's gone over his time. There isn't the amount of games that have been played here, just for context, and obviously you have to take leagues into consideration and stuff. But just in comparison to some of the longer serving managers we've had recently, Rowett leaves with a 38.8% win rate. Neil Harris had a 42% win rate. Ian Holloway had 22.6%. Lomas had 25%. And Kenny Jackett had 42.3%.
As a name no one's mentioned, Ian Holloway, he's been doing some work from Sky. He might be looking to get back into management.
I think one thing I would say there, Dan, is that all of Rowett's games have been in the Championship.
Yeah, that is obviously, you'd have to take that into and obviously
Harris 2 seasons of Harris was League One.
Yeah.
Albeit all of and then how many games of Kenny Jackett's were League One as well? You know,
a large portion
2
of
seasons as well.
Harris's games would have been League One. So yeah, I'm not saying take that as gospel, but it's just interesting to obviously compare.
Yeah, I mean, if you take them 3, Jackett, Harris, Rowett was what, 38? Yeah,
38. Harris was 42 and Jackett was 42.3.
Yeah, so and you look at so both Jackett and Harris had at least 2 years in League One.
Where and also on that, Alex, we were under Jackett, especially, we were considered one of the better teams in League One.
Yeah,
but
so as well.
Yeah.
I think you can take. Look, I think stats prove 2 things to you, don't they? You can make them look the way you want them to look, and you can also tear them apart in other ways. But 38% win percentage over, I think, just under 200 games. It's not bad. You know, no. I think he won more than he lost as well. Hell of a lot of draws, but he won more. He won more than what he lost, and I think when you look at it, when he leaves, now he's left, I think he'll say he can leave with his head held high. I think most people will be able to say that.
He's left 3 days before his 4-year anniversary in charge of the club.
I'm going to have to get rid of that Gary Rowett masterclass meme.
3 years.
That's how the Gary Rowett, all my Gary Rowett propaganda is going to have to go.
Yeah, the Gary Rowett masterclass meme is going to have to go. It's a shame.
The amount of people on Twitter
he was still wearing his Derby kit in that. Sorry, mate.
So, right, I've just obviously let me just bring it up here, right? Alex has just put that on, and I've just gone on to. I'm not listening to it because I'm listening to you boys, but I've just gone on there, and I've just typed out. We challenge Lions TV hosts and viewers to a charity football match. That Millwall Podcast 11 versus Lions TV 11. Will you accept the challenge, Dan? Now, do I press send?
Yeah, do it. Or, you called him out before. You can't just do it. And Ben, what were you saying?
It's posted. It's live. So those of you who are watching Dan, go in and like that message because I reckon he'll delete it shortly, and I'm not listening to him. So if anyone hears what he says, let me know, and the time, and we'll clip it.
I was just saying on Bill, mate. There's so many people on Twitter saying that they would have him, and I just can't see that.
On who? Sorry,
on Bill. I'd be very, very uninspired. Yeah.
Who?
Michael Bill.
Michael Bill, yeah.
Oh.
I thought you said Bill was in like someone's first name. I was like, Bill.
Oh yeah, Bill.
Bill from down the pub.
Yeah.
Well, there's some good names on there, by the way. I mean, someone on his has come up with Wisey. Would you take Wisey back?
He's been out of work for a very,
been out.
very
Been out of the game a long
Yeah.
time.
I tell you what, though. I tell you what with
Well,
Dennis
what
Wise.
about the ex-Leeds manager, Bielsa?
Oh
His
God,
name is.
No, he's managing Uruguay now. He's doing a bit better than us.
And you can't have a translator at the Den. I'm sorry, but you just can't.
I can't
It
have
wouldn't
that.
work. It wouldn't work. No way. It would not work. Trust me. Trust me. I would not want press conferences like that. That would be a nightmare.
On Dennis Wise, and I'm not saying him per se, but do you think as well that the club should perhaps look for a director of football as well as someone to help the new manager come in?
That is basically what Dennis Wise does. He is the president of Como. I mean, would you give up living in Lake Como to come to South Bermondsey?
No, I wouldn't. But there's got to be someone out there that could do the director of football role. And I'm not, we've got to understand it with the budget and things. But I think that there's definitely a way that they can introduce someone that can help with the running of the team. It doesn't just solely have to fall down. Need at least 5k subscribers, and he will think about it. Wow.
That sounds to me like a bottler.
Wow.
Well, you know what to do. Listen. Everyone just needs to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get us above 5,000. Then he can't welch out of it again, can he? It's true what he said.
Can we clip that? Can we get that and post that out as well? And try so we've got that.
Yeah. Hang on. Where are we? Yeah, we can do that because I can just do it. Where are we?
Right. This is where we need everyone to have 27 email addresses each. And
I saw an interesting one in the comments there. What would your guys' thoughts be on the Cowley brothers?
I don't think they've ever done anything worth really.
Huddersfield up, but they had a Mill Smith blow. It was a bit of a cheat code in the Championship that year. Pretty average at Portsmouth. Did well at Lincoln, but that was like non-league and League Two. So I don't think they'd be too high up on my list, to be completely honest.
No. Someone said
it's
earlier.
An interesting one. Someone mentioned, to be fair.
Someone said earlier, if Everton sacked Dyche, would you want him?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, 100%. But he's never coming to
it
us.
Wouldn't happen. Everton's to sack him, so they won't.
It wouldn't happen anyway. I'd be very surprised if that happened.
Yeah, they won't.
Very surprised if that happened. Yeah.
I think there was a comment that was posted earlier. I can't remember how long ago now who it was, so I do apologise. But that we still are, I would imagine, quite an attractive proposition for a lot of managers. A Championship job in London that have been competing at the right end of the table. It's not like we've been at the bottom of the league for the last, couple of seasons. I think there'll be a lot of people that are certainly, and their agents will certainly be throwing their names in the hat to at least be considered if we're to assume that no one we're not at the stage where someone's very close to being appointed. So I don't think they need to make a rash decision on people. They can really, I reckon they'll have a lot of names that they can choose from and pick the right or who they consider to be the right one.
I think you're right. I think I think it's a very attractive job. Anyone who can get Millwall fans on side will class that as a success. Anyone that can do well with Millwall in the Championship and take them to that step will feel that they've done a great job. And I personally think it's a very attractive job. Yeah, all right, you've got a fan base that demand certain things, but you've also got a fan base that will back you the whole way if you at least show them the commitment to playing and getting results. Like Rowett did when he first came in. He had the fans on side when he first came in. And another manager could exactly do the same. But it's so hard to predict how it's going to go and who they'll go for.
Also, that comment just there that was posted up about someone coming back to the Den, do you think that maybe not Tuesday, because it's a bit sooner, we won't have a manager in by then, but the next home game that we have, that perhaps the new manager's in charge, do you think you'll see a real upturn in in the crowd. So I'm not suggesting that we'll sell out just because we've got a new manager, but do you think that you'll probably get an extra couple of thousand on the gate on the basis that Rowett is no longer there?
Possibly. I mean, if it's the Southampton game, I think that could easily turn into a sellout.
Yeah,
especially with being the remembrance fixture and everything as well. So if it is Southampton, which I mean, looking at the potential time frame, that doesn't seem out of this world to say that it's going to be the Southampton game. That could easily be a very, very good crowd looking at a sellout, I think.
That is the next Saturday home fixture, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking 2,000 to Watford, and that was with Rowett in charge. So, I feel like there'll be a lot of people tickets at the minute.
West Brom guys been in touch and said getting rid of, or not West Brom, this is whole, getting rid of their manager for Rowett would be some downgrade. And then they've come in and went, I said, hearing Rowett could be going West Brom, what you heard? And he's went, like, no chance. We got a manager, plus we turned him down before we appointed Carlos. We ain't getting rid of him. He's done a great job. Plus, we haven't money to pay Compo, even if we did want rid, which we don't. The only way their manager is going anywhere is someone is paying his 4 million release clause, but I can't see anyone who'll be paying that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because if you look at their money issues, particularly, they're unhappy with the owners, aren't they? Because of the loans they've taken out against the club and stuff like that. Just on your point there, Stephen, about home attendances, if you look at the figures, they've not been that bad. Hull, there was 15,500 there for Hull, which you would have thought attendances would have been lower if the feeling was that bad. Even against Watford, there were against Rotherham, I think there was 12,500 or something.
I would like to challenge that there was 12,500 people at that Rotherham game because I know that, I'm not suggesting for any minute that the club like to manipulate the figures, but I can assure you that it did not look like 12,500 people were in the ground that night.
No,
I was shocked when I saw it. I have to be honest. I don't know whether they include season ticket holders in all of it, which they probably do, I'd have thought.
I think they do.
I'd have thought they'd include that.
Leeds, it being a wet, rainy Wednesday night, and the fact it was on the Sky Red button.
Yeah, the thing, the attendances haven't been too bad, but I mean, and I know it's very easy for people to say, but there are people that I know, for example, that to away games that travel to every game and have gone, I'm not going to go to this one. I'm not going. They didn't go to Plymouth. I know Plymouth on a Tuesday night isn't, after a 3-0 home defeat, isn't for everybody. But it is a little bit of a, do you know what I mean? There's core season ticket holders that, like last year, you'd have at least 900 to 1,000 going to every away game. It was the same people going, and there was just people getting fed up with it. And I just wonder if there might be a little bit of an upturn and perhaps a few more tickets sold with a new manager coming in.
Possibly, yeah, I agree there. I mean, I speak to quite a lot of fans when I'm on the train up to some of the away days. In fact, there's a group that I meet every single time. Funny enough, I bump into them every time, and they did say they were considering not going because of how the football was and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I make you right. I don't think it will affect this Saturday purely because of it being a.
No.
I mean, let's be honest. Who wanted to watch Preston against Millwall on Sky at 12:30 on a Saturday? I mean, the selection people have really made a cock up.
Considering as well, this weekend Norwich play Leeds, and that's not been considered for TV.
It'd be a much better game to watch.
So I think though, when it was chosen, Preston were top of the league, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
They do base it on that. But no, I think the next couple of games, I don't think too much will change. The style of football, the selection of the team, and perhaps the numbers that were going to turn up at Preston and then back at the Den on Tuesday. Watford was already sold out, so we can't comment on that because the tickets were already done in advance. But especially after Watford, I think you'll definitely see some kind of, I think, a shift. in the right direction. It just needs whoever the new man, who it is that comes in to take us forward and capitalise on that. You can't have a new manager come in and talking, because they're going to do the whole thing they do, didn't they? It's a good club. We can take them forward. They've done a good job. They're all going to. It's going to be the same spiel whoever it is that comes in, but they can't turn up at Southampton if that's going to be their first home game on a Saturday and just literally like pass it around the back and play 5 at the back. Can't do that.
No, mate, you're right.
So I'm just reading some of the comments that are going across the bottom.
No to
football. No, not for me.
No to Mark Kennedy. He's just left a club in League One, I think.
Yeah,
didn't
he got sacked from Lincoln about an hour before Rowett got.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you very much, Dan, Lions TV, because I've just screen grabbed your comment. So he's told us that here we need 5,000 subs before we'd even think about it. Listen, if you're scared of us that we'd beat you and embarrass you, then that's up to you. It was just a friendly game to raise some money for charity. But if you're scared and you want to put 5,000 subs as the reason, that's fine with me. Fine with you, Stephen?
I want to play.
So do I, but he don't want to. So, unfortunately, he don't want to. So, yeah. Who are we? He knows exactly who the fuck I am. So, yeah. Oh, if he don't, he's the only fucking person. Just goes back to his criteria of being a Millwall fan that he's the only person here who don't know who I am. So, he must know who I am because he's blocked us. So,
yeah, Mickey, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but you were a fan on the board, weren't you?
No, mate, that weren't me. That was Stephen.
I'm not taking that. No,
what about
I'm
that
not taking that crown off you.
Would my biggest question mark over that? I'd love it. My biggest question mark is would Cahill do it?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Would Cahill fancy being a number 1?
Not a chance. He's making too much money in Qatar, isn't he? Being an ambassador for their football. So, nah.
And does he want to bring some like stakeholder with him who says no?
Was he though? I could see Cahill realistically going more likely to go to Everton.
Yeah,
could do.
Than us.
New stadium, more money, and
I think they tried to get him before as a advisor or something in the boardroom. They tried to get him before, like senior advisor role.
Oh dear.
If anyone's watching both streams, just keep posting on this. Are you scared of him or so? Or it's a charity football match for 2 good causes. We said the Food Hub and
the Melza, wasn't it?
And the Melza Children's Charity. But if he wants to put another charity in there, then I'm more than happy. But yeah, we want a charity match between us, and it would be good because it would be. Listen, we both do what we do. He's got massive numbers, on YouTube. He could, he could gain some good money for a charity. We could. Neither one of us needs to touch the charity money. We can just put it on a Just Giving straight to those charities, so everyone donates straight to those charities. Job done. At the end of the day, we have a good laugh between us and him, and 2 fantastic charities. And if he wants to add one, they get hopefully a bundle of money. They don't have now. Even if it only raised, a couple of grand or something, at least it's money. Will go a long way for them. So yeah.
If anyone has found any odds, can you put the link into the comments so Mickey can share it with us? Because when I put in Millwall manager odds, all I'm seeing is the list from 2019 when we was looking to replace Neil Harrison. Chris Hughton's name was in that, but I can't see any kind of name today or any kind of odds list. So if there is any odds list, please put it in the comments, and I'd like to see what names are being touted early on.
Right, lads, I've got to love you and leave you, I'm afraid, because the pub are telling me that I'm taking up space in their kitchen. So
yeah, no worries. Later. Speak to you later.
It's been lovely to be part of this discussion.
Hopefully, Alex will put something on the website.
Yes, I will do. I'm going to write. Actually, I'm not going to bother doing a news piece now because it's already out. I'll do a nice opinion piece. I'm going to get some fan opinions on it as well.
Okay.
So
if you want to appear on
Twitter.
our website, just tag Alex on Twitter, and I'm sure he'll put your comments in there. So yeah, no worries, Alex. Speak to you later.
See you soon, mate.
See you, mate.
There we go. Back to 4. Shake up with the first team this weekend.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to change.
Where are these odds? I need to see these odds.
Yeah,
So,
I can't find them anywhere.
I've just had a look a couple of times during this stream. I can't find them anywhere. I'd love to see some.
No, not Cole Robinson. Hell no.
Is that the one who? Is that the one who was like at Charlton and MK Dons? That one.
Yeah. No. As I say, oh god.
Oh god. We need you to go around every time you see someone. Just go on the YouTube while you got their phone and just subscribe to us. We need the 5,000, and then no doubt he'll put it to 10,000. And we're just, we will get this game on, love nor money. So,
and if not, didn't we say we could if he's going to TT?
Yeah, I'll go with TT. Yeah. TT wouldn't bottle it.
Should we make it a little tournament if Lions TV's up for it and we can get Acton?
Yeah. I don't know if Acton would, but yeah, I reckon the
or Millwall Tube.
Yeah. I don't listen.
Jesus, how many games do you think we're going to be able to play? Bloody hell.
Well, we just change it to a 6-a-side, won't we? We use the trust and we do a 6-a-side. That's probably more our remit, to be fair, mate.
Hey. Ben's scored a free kick at the Den. So
and a 20-yarder last year.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but
what about Mark Kennedy?
No,
Gary Rowett. Hold on, Gary Rowett has left us for Lincoln. No.
Has Mark Kennedy played for us before or not? Because that's a name that kind of rings a bell.
Yeah, is it the same Kennedy?
I'm checking this now.
It's the same one, isn't it? I'm
sure
it is.
Mark Kennedy was scored the
Arsenal.
Us.
Scored at Arsenal. Yeah.
43 games, scored 9 goals.
Ian Holloway. No, I was joking. You can blame me for calling Dan off.
Are you lads happy with this? Rowett going? If I'm honest with you, probably not without actually having someone set up to come in. But sometimes, I'm a strong believer in fate and things happening for a reason. So the dice has been rolled, whether or not we rolled it or he rolled it, but the dice has been rolled, and now we see what we do. So we'll see what's what. But on that same comment, 3RJS MFC, that's a name and a half. Herlock will run it. That would be good. I have to agree with Gazza on this. Now, after an hour or so has passed, I don't feel gutted at all. Unlike when Harris left, onwards and upwards.
I think it's quite harsh to compare Gary Rowett to Neil Harris, though, because Neil Harris is a legend. I mean, without speaking for other people, I know having been sat next to Ben at the Legends Night. We grew up watching Neil Harris. He was a hero. Like, he was a hero to so many people. Him leaving it did hurt. It was absolutely gutted to read the news. But Rowett's never. I'm disappointed in the sense that I really, really thought that he'd come in with a plan and he was going to get us in the top 6. He didn't quite manage to do that. But it's just not the same. It's just not the same as when it was Harris.
Big E's got a valid point, by the way. Good evening, Cole. Hope you're well, mate. Yes, Rowett has gone.
Oh, that's the fella. That's the fella that was asking. Honestly, that's your mate or your dad or something.
It's definitely not.
I reckon that's Ben. That's Ben.
AT, find me on Twitter, mate. I'm going to buy you a drink. I like you.
Honestly, every show, where's Ben? Where's Ben? Where's Ben?
Oh, look at David now.
David really wants this.
No, we can't. We've got to have thingy, mate. We've got to have 11 aside.
So
no, we will have 11 aside.
When are we opening trials?
So,
okay.
3RJS MFC. elaborate on that a bit more, mate. Tell us why you think it's such bad news. I take it you're a big Rowett fan. By the way, I hear it's a free bar at the Haters Arms tonight as well, by the way. But you say it's very bad news, but elaborate on that a bit. Tell us a bit more, mate. This is an interactive show. We've not seen your name on here before, so welcome to the show. We take what you say and we air it and we have a discussion around it. So we don't censor anyone. We get nearly everyone's comments on a lot of other shows. So yeah, the only reason we won't put anything up is if it's potentially libelous. But other than that, it goes up. Even if someone wants to call me a cunt in the comments, I'll show you. I'll post that up as well. So yeah.
Brian Mason is a name I keep seeing getting mentioned.
John Terry, Jesus.
Cheers, mate. Rich, yes. Thanks, mate. That's a bit better than me saying the other one all the time. So yeah. What are the odds on Mickey to get the job? I'll smash a quid on it. Yeah. Just start putting. If everyone just went and put £1 on Mickey Simpson to get the Millwall job, can you imagine? I could get my name into. Oh, mate, we could try a little fix there. That would definitely work, wouldn't it?
You honestly, you'd get a couple of people put it on. It'd be like 5,000 to 1, and within an hour, it dropped down to like 4 to 5 on.
We should do it, shouldn't we? Is that against the law? I don't know.
No, it's happened before. I think there was. I remember seeing this the other day. A 17-year-old person who played Football Manager. He became the favourite for the Notts County job because everyone kept betting on him.
Mate, Mickey Simpson.
Ben's all over that. You talk about Football Manager. He's CV's. He's printing his CV off.
I'm going to get my CV up, put it in the group later.
Listen, don't have to be me, but anyone of the panel or anyone of the pod. I think we should choose someone and then go put the bets on, and then just see how far we can get their odds up.
I'll tell you what as well. If you need a reference, Ben, that AT24 is your guy. He's the one to give you a reference at the club. He get you the job.
Straight on it.
Yeah, I agree with Ben there, mate. I was gutted when Jacket left. Harris, I knew because I sort of knew that he was doing it for reasons. He was doing it because his family was getting abused and stuff online, and he just thought enough was enough, and it was his time to go. Which
I think Harris I was gutted about because it was Neil Harris and not because it was sorry, I was just in that comment. Harris I was gutted about because it was Neil Harris and not because it was like any other person. So.
That would be so funny. Who is Mickey Simpson? And all the media would be looking for me. I'm here. Be a good promo for the show, though, wouldn't it? Really raise the profile of the show, wouldn't it?
Get the 5K subs, we can get this charity match on.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Dan, you're a betting man. Put £1 on me. See if you can get odds for it.
Talking of bets, Dan, do you want to pay me out yet?
No. Once we've been Leicester away, mate.
Word down a goalie. Not much space to score. Oh, dear me. Forget Harris. Yeah. Harris is not coming back, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think Harris is ever coming back, okay?
Talking about bets, Mickey, you need to get that Leicester shirt lined up because old Dan over there saying, "Oh, Leicester are going to finish 8th and they're not going to do anything." Yeah, all right.
The worst shout of all time.
What?
No, not Biggie. That Biggie's comment was definitely not you, Biggie. Dan.
Gary Rowett has probably overseen 4 of our top 10 highest ever finishes, making him one. Oh, he is definitely one of our most successful managers, hands down. I think he's got a win rate of about 42%. So he has done. I'll tell you an interesting thing that we were talking about. What we were going to talk about on Friday Night Live, but there's no point now because he's left. But the question was this. Now, what I'll put to the panel, and I'll come through all the comments in here, but this will probably blow him up and even more. Was Gary Rowett a manager that went out to win games, or was he a manager to go out and not lose games? And also, did we only play a back 5 because he
lads, I'm going to interrupt. Sorry, I've got some odds, and Kevin Muscat has been installed as a 4-1 favourite for the job. John Eustace is second at 5-1.
Where's Mickey Simpson?
And show you the odds list there that you can see on my phone. Warnock's at 8.
We're not interested in any of that. We want to know what Mickey's price is. Has it gone in yet?
Early odds list.
I'll tell you what, though. Seriously, we've all got a tweet. Everyone's got a tweet Sky Bet, do a request to bet Mickey Simpson to be the next Millwall manager and see what they offer.
See what they do.
Unfortunately, they are offering Lee Bowyer at 10-1.
Oh no!
Oh god! But as I said, what was I saying? Yeah, right. So is he a manager that wants to win games, or is he a manager that doesn't want to lose games? And the reason I say that is I spoke to someone the other day who raised the question to me was, over the last 3 years, we've had one red card, and that was for a double yellow and a sending off. So, and also, if players get on yellows where it looks potentially like they're going to be coming off, he subs them all the time. So, is it pure and simply that he was just playing not to lose? I've got to post CO's comment because don't forget, hit that thumb and subscribe to this channel. Mickey is a cunt, but he's our cunt. Oh, now your other comment in a little bit makes sense where you said sorry about the E. Yeah. I don't have two black ears. Pick Craig's brain tomorrow night about what he thinks regarding the manager's job. Good point.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Whoever comes in needs to have a striker in their back room.
Mm-hmm.
In a back room team. Yeah, sorry, I read back room and I'm thinking not locked in there, obviously. No. He started a new live, can't take the heat. Oh, maybe it's just that he pays a cheaper subscription he can only have for a certain amount of time. Rather Homer Simpson. Thanks, mate. I'm not going for the manager's job. It's just a play. We just do it just for the crack. Everyone put 50p or a pound on it, mate. The odds will suddenly come down, or we'll come down, and I'll get in the top 5. If we can get in the top 5, wow! Just think it'll be funny as fuck. So yeah,
Simpson out
has a ring to it.
It's already begun. He hasn't even got the job yet.
What about Mickey Simpson? Your football is shit. That's got a ring to it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. If I was the Millwall manager, what chance would you sing me? I've been found on the board. Do you know what I mean? I've done AMS. I've been found on the board. It's either the CEO or the manager's role, I suppose, which is left, isn't it?
Mickey's our lurch.
Fuck off, you. That was hurt.
Now that one, Ricky, that comment previously, Richie Wellens. Yeah, someone like that, young manager. I wouldn't mind just having a poke at someone like that. Isn't he not at Carlisle now? Is it Carlisle?
Orient, isn't it?
Is he Orient?
Orient, yeah. Victor have apparently published an odds list, so I'm just going to go and see if there's any other names. But that is where I got the Muscat news from.
Oh, isn't it?
You say your name's Rich. Are you Richard Lindsay?
Oh,
because only where you said that you've looked at our history. In fact, I've done a lot of detailed work in it. Are you the Richard Lindsay who's written numerous books on Millwall? Just asking, just playing detective. Neil
Frank
Harris,
Lampard,
background staff.
12-1. Nathan Jones, 12-1. Mark,
sell yourself, chaps. What are you going to bring to the club?
Neil Lennon.
Sell yourself. There you go. Listen, you're going in for the interview, right? And what would you use to sell yourself for the manager's position? We'll start with you, Ben.
Before you say anything, wait. Please, Ben, don't let me down. No, go.
I won the Champions League with Millwall on Football Manager.
He's got a job. He's got a job. That's it.
Go on in, Steve.
Aldo will be on the interview panel, and he'd just be like, "Give him the job. Give him the job."
Go on, Dan.
Why would I? What's my pitch to get me the Millwall job?
Yeah.
I got Messi as my assistant manager on Football Manager. Okay. It's not convincing, that is it? It's not as convincing as Ben's, but
no, that's it. Go on in. Yeah, don't forget Peppo's as a favour. Yeah.
Stephen. Seems to be quite good.
I just say I'm cheap. I'm cheap. You don't have to pay me that much. It's fine. Anyone that supports Millwall and comes on podcasts, I'm a fan. I appreciate the well, lads. I was worried about Dan too after we lost to Leeds. Just a fan of this show.
Yeah, but if you'd have saw me on the social media at Plymouth, you would have known I've been well recovered from that.
Oh yeah, the star of Mill's TikTok or whatever it was.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just noticed on the odds list, Graham Potter can be backed at 16-1.
Oh, not a chance.
The first
Not
thought
a
I've
chance.
seen is that the clip from Sunderland till I die of that. Why am I looking at Ibrahimovic at the bottom of this list?
And on the ball to a manager.
All I would say is I was found on the board. Give me the position. Listen, the big game I've ever been in charge of was the battle against Lewisham, and we took it to them, and we won with extra time. So yeah, fuck it, give it to me. I wouldn't want a manager's job, to be honest, but I'd like to get involved in the betting just for the pure hell of it. It'll be so funny, but I don't bet, so I can't get involved in it. I've got no idea how you do it or anything else. So
and back to that.
I said, is it illegal? Because I've got no idea.
that question about Rowett definitely set us up not to lose. He just didn't want to lose games of football. That was didn't always work, obviously, but he didn't. There was, I think I can think of maybe 2 or 3 games where we come out and actually looked like we wanted to win from kickoff.
I think he's not wanted to lose, and then he sets him up with a little bit of a run or something at the end where he can nick a goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know we've had a few games where they were 3-0 and that, but a lot of them were not. I don't think through the will of trying. Gaza, Rowett's win weight. Rowett's win rate.
Someone's invited Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, that's it. 38.46, draws 29.23, losses 32.31. Mascot will spend more time in the stands than managing. The Mascot comes in, we will be hated even more. We get slated when he came in as a player. Yeah. Don't look at the odds, it makes it even worse. Sun and the Mail are calling it a sacking, by the way. If that's true, it is disgraceful. I don't believe JB Senior would have made that move.
I don't think he would have sacked him. I don't think he's sacked him.
I think it's more because of the time. Like I said earlier, I think it's more. I'll just say the comment there. Sorry, I think it's more the fact with the timing because it was an 8 o'clock. It was an 8 o'clock release, which points at potentially it was a second. But yeah, is that to me? Is it? Yeah.
Oh God, that's comment.
See, like I said, you wouldn't get this on any other show, would you? Where the host puts up comments what are absolutely taking the living piss out of him.
Sylvester out.
Okay. I'll see while working with a historian in a minute. So yeah. See, I was on the right line. So yeah. Ted Wilding, another good thingy. So yeah. Reliable source at the club says Bobby Robson expected to be named manager in the next 72 hours. Will be unveiled on Tuesday. Yeah. Even if he was still here, mate, it wouldn't happen because he fucking hated us in 76 when we played Ipswich.
More chance of getting Harry Potter. That's brilliant.
Plenty of managers available, no rush. Would have a blast on Wilder or Eusted or even Nugent.
Chris Wilder isn't. I can't see Chris Wilder's name anywhere on these odds lists.
Bet Victor have Muscat 3-1. Well, you boys are on for you. Just put in and see what odds I can get for Sky Bet.
I don't know if Sky Bet have done a market yet, but so the early front
No,
runners.
the request a bet, whatever it is.
Go on, Stephen.
I'm recording on my phone. I have to do it after.
All right.
Tweet them. You just have to tweet them. Ask them what odds they give on whatever.
Neil Harris 16-1.
No.
In all seriousness, Bet Victor, Mark Kennedy's second favourite.
Well, that's changed quite dramatically. John Hughes on my screen.
I wish I'd never.
Muscat's 2-1. Sorry,
Muscat's 2-1 already.
Yeah.
I wish I'd never ever suggested the chance. So that would be in the tune of, what is it? He looks like, what is it?
The Wisey. It's the Dennis Wise tune,
so
isn't it?
He looks like an OAP, but it's only 33. Mickey Simpson. Whoa. Yeah.
Oh, God. Those 1,000 listeners on Twitter are just going to be dwindling now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they're falling. But our numbers on YouTube are going up, so yeah. Some Tom Banana usernames on the chat. Lads, who do you want as a manager? We've done this earlier, David. You were slacking. I know you only want to play the last 20 minutes, but come on, boy. Should have joined in earlier. We've done.
We want Mickey. That's what we want.
If Aldo is in charge of selection, what hope have we got?
No, when I said that, I was joking. It's just that he'd love Ben and his football manager antics. He wouldn't have anything to do with. Oh Lord, Paul.
Mate. What this could be our doing to keep suggesting Muscat. He's gone to 2-1.
They could be listening right now.
Could we get me and Muscat as as the top two favourites? But I would need you boys to help me out. Everyone should retweet # Mickey Simpson manager. I don't know what
get everyone in. Anyone who's listening now on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, go over to Twitter and tweet Sky Bet. And if loads of people keep asking for it, they'll take note because they'll be like, "Who is this guy? Where you know?" And then,
so what is it? You just tweet.
They have an account. I don't know. I see it all the time. People post ridiculous things, and you can request. You can request it.
Is it request a bet? Yeah.
Oh yes.
Sky Bet request a bet.
Yeah, and you just tweet them. Like the other day, I saw one. I think it was after one of the England games, and it was like Southgate to be sacked after the Euros and Eddie Howe to take over or whatever.
Just put in there, Mickey, that Millwall podcast to beat the other lot in a charity match and Mickey Simpson become Millwall manager in a double. See what they'll pay.
472 million to 1.
Well, I've just posted it. We'll see. If you see it on Twitter, just retweet it. But yeah.
Can I take my light back after that singing?
No. Oh, mate, these comments are still coming. I've got to go in a minute. Because my daughter's just got in from work and she needs to have dinner. How about Scott Parker, West Ham? No, thank you.
No.
Will Rowett recommend his replacement?
Let's hope not. We're getting Adam Barrett otherwise.
Muscat just arrived at Heathrow Airport. The players would definitely play for him, aka Kevin Muscat. Yeah. I can't even think about who next. I want to know exactly what has gone on here. I've never got to the bottom of why Neil Harris went last time. What is the truth here? Harris went because his family was getting abused and it just got too much. And he decided that enough was enough and him being in the position. That's what I heard. But again, we'll have to find out one day when we speak to him. Jacket and Harris did just missed Lions TV. Rowett had started going at the chat saying he'd done everything for us. I'm lost. Come on, boys, each of you, before you go, who's going to get the job? Okay, 1 second.
Who's going to get it, or who do we want?
Apparently, he was found on the board, Mickey Simpson, Millwall manager. That's a hashtag and a half, that is, isn't it? If you can get that trending, Alex, Adam, I'll be well impressed. I'll retweet it for you, but yeah,
why am I seeing Cisco Munoz' name on my screen? Why have I just seen that name on my screen?
It's Sheffield Wednesday.
0 wins from 12 games.
Yeah, no.
If we get Muscat as manager, he will turn the den into a toxic, hostile cauldron and no one will want to come here. Bring it on.
Someone's updated Gary Rowett's Wikipedia page to say Millwall FC announced he'd left by mutual consent on October 18th, 2023, sparking scenes of wild celebration on the streets of South London.
That wasn't the real Rowett on Lions TV.
Jesus Christ! You have to. Sometimes you just have to quit. Jesse, no.
Mickey, have you seen what Joe's put up in the group? I don't think you were the first one to tweet it, mate. So we are getting people out there.
What's he put? Oh yeah, TV. My pal TV lines. It'll be so funny if I wake up in the morning, mate, and I'm like, odds on 4 to 5 to thingy, mate. So yeah. And where are we? Let's have a look there. There was a username Gary Rowett on Lions TV, but I doubt it's him. I like the fact that our listeners are doing a laugh tonight, considering our manager has done one. Chris Wilder or Frank Lampard.
Oh God.
We need to stop with Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I reckon the Gary Rowett person who was on Lions TV, mate, who's gone on there as Gary Rowett, was probably one of the listeners on here, and I've probably got an idea who it could have been. But we are not going to do.
The odds are changing. Mark Kennedy is 6-1.
9 games to go in Japanese A game. Muscat's team are second place, 4 points behind first. 9 games left. That's January, I think. In January they stop. So he could. That's his contract.
They ain't waiting. Yeah. They ain't waiting until January though. There's no way they're waiting. Millwall wait until January.
Did Muscat actually come over for the Rangers job, or was that just hype?
No, he didn't. He didn't come over. It was all on. It was all on Zoom, wasn't it?
Oh, but he did actually interview for me. He was heavily linked. Oh, right.
Yeah, he definitely had an interview.
Yeah, Alex Crook said that it was on a Zoom or something. Because all the managers went, so yeah.
This is the thing I don't get about Frank Lampard.
Absolutely.
He inherited Gary Rowett's Derby squad that finished 6th the season before, spent 25 million and signed Tamori, Wilson and Mason Mount on loan and took him from 6th to 6th and just got considered success because he managed to win the playoff semi-final against Leeds. Other than that, he's been a crap manager everywhere else he's gone.
Yeah, you tell him.
Yeah, tell us how you feel, Dan.
I literally will not go to the Den again this season if it's Frank Lampard.
No, it can't be Frank Lampard.
It physically can't be.
No. What's that say?
Oh, what he's done since,
since horror show. I thought you were saying our show was a horror show. I was thinking, fuck me, you didn't listen to fucking Sunday's show, did you?
Oh, God. Sunday was a tough evening.
It's out as a pod now, but it has been edited.
To about 10 minutes.
No, it went from about an hour and 35 to about 46.
Yeah.
The former manager.
Right, gents, I think we're pretty much done. You boys are going to be back on Friday anyway, aren't you, Stephen?
Me and Joe are. Ben, maybe. Dan, I haven't heard back, but I'm assuming it's going to be a no.
To be fair, I might pop on. I'm still here. It's the following week where I need maybe you, Dan, or Ben to come on and do a live with me on Friday and a Sunday. Sunday.
Before we go, that question that was put up, obviously we said who we might want, but realistically, who do we think is going to be given the job as Millwall manager? Dan, you can go first.
3 places.
What we picking 3 names, or we just
three names. With your first, second, third. You're going to choose the manager. Your 3 choices.
Muscat, Eustace, Wilder.
Ben?
Wilder, Eustace, and I'm going to chuck one in a Neil Warnock.
Mickey?
I would go Muscat, Warner, and I'll tell you a random one for you, another Millwall boy. What about Mark Beard? He's done a few lower leagues, but not anything higher. There we go.
I'll go Eustace, Wilder, and I'm going to throw a rogue one in, and I saw it on a comment earlier. He's been doing really well at Bromley. Alan Dunn.
Yeah, Alan Dunn.
No, he's not even the manager there.
I genuinely think we're going to get Nathan Jones, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to get an interview. I think that's...
There you go, look. Euston, Muscat, Warnock, Wilder, Euston, and that's pretty much it. Well, we're done, gents. This will be out as a pod in the morning. Thank you very much for joining us. It was very hazardous and makeshift. those of you who are new to us, make sure you give us a subscribe because we are going for the 5,000 subscribers to bring on the Versus Lions TV so that you can't get out of it. No night.
And to get Mickey Simpson as joint favourite as Millwall manager on Sky Bet.
Yeah, and help retweet that and get me some odds. See where we can go. I'll even go for the interview, shall I? I don't have a badge. I'd have to have someone with a badge to be able to do it for me. But yeah, why not? You know, we could play it along, mate. You boys can interview me for the position or something here. Anyway,
you're unbeaten in 2 games as a manager, though, Mickey. That speaks for itself.
Yeah. The fire brigade, the ambulance team, and the other one I did there with them. So yeah. Oh, Stephen is gone. No, right, we're done. Ben's final words, Ben.
Yeah, bit of a weird one. I mean, we've all agreed weird timing of it, but I think ultimately it was right. I think it was going a bit stale. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see who we get in now, which probably says a lot about where we were with Rowett, doesn't it? But yeah, weird one. But yeah, best of luck to Gary in his next role. And yeah, so exciting to see who we get in.
Excellent. Dan, the man.
Yeah, just the classic. No one likes us, lads. We don't care. Onwards and upwards. Safe travels to those who are going Preston, and I'll see the rest of you at Blackburn and Watford.
Yeah. Go on then, Stephen.
Ben's on the pitch when we win 5-0 at Preston on Saturday afternoon. And thanks to Gary Rowett. I mean, he almost achieved the impossible last year. And I know almost doesn't get you much, but no hard feelings. I think he did a good job, but it was the right time to go.
Yeah. I think what we said at the beginning and what we said now is, Gary Rowett, thank you for everything you've done. You did make us go from a yo-yo League One championship club to a fairly established championship club. And we've always been dicing with the playoffs, but we've never got there. There is no pride, in saying that you couldn't get us over the final line. You've tried 3 or 4 seasons to get the players in and work the way you want it, and unfortunately that hasn't worked out. But unfortunately, the door at Millwall has firmly closed, and we say thank you. And if you go to another club, you will get dog shit abuse, because that is who we are. So, up the Millwall, up the Lions. Thank you very much for joining us. You've done a good job, right? And thanks for the memories. But we couldn't forget Blackburn at home for as long as we're alive.